You've been trying to figure out who's real and who isn't. You analyze conversations after they happen. You look for inconsistencies. You compare what someone said to you with what you heard they said to someone else. You test people quietly, share something small, see if it travels. You watch their face when you share good news. You notice who checks on you when things go wrong and who disappears. You've gotten good at reading people, but it's exhausting, and it's never quite certain, because fake friends are patient. They know how to look real long enough to stay close. Here's what nobody tells you about fake friends. You don't find them, they find themselves. There is one specific thing you can do, not to expose them, not to test them, not to catch them, that makes every fake person in your life reveal exactly who they are without you having to do any detective work at all. You don't have to be suspicious. You don't have to set traps. You don't have to watch anyone carefully. You just have to do this one thing, and they show you everything. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what it is and why it works on every fake friend every time without a single exception. Think about the last time someone you trusted showed you who they really were. It probably wasn't during a normal week. It wasn't during the comfortable, predictable stretches of life when nothing much is happening and everyone is easy to be around. It was during a moment of change, a moment when something shifted in you, your circumstances, your direction, your level of success, your willingness to accept certain things. That's not a coincidence. Fake friends don't reveal themselves during ordinary moments because ordinary moments don't cost them anything. Being around you when life is stable is easy. There's nothing to lose and nothing to gain. They can afford to seem genuine when the stakes are low. But the moment something changes in you, the moment you start moving in a direction that requires them to actually show up, actually adjust, actually give something, that's when the mask slips. Not because they get careless, because the cost suddenly became real. And here's what most people do wrong. They wait for that change to happen by accident. They wait for life to create the moment that reveals who's real. They wait for a crisis, a success, a loss, some external event that forces people to choose a side. You don't have to wait. You can create that moment deliberately, right now, on your terms. And the thing that creates it is not complicated. It's not clever. It's not strategic in the way most people think of strategy. It's simply this. Start becoming more of who you actually are. Openly, deliberately, without apology, without shrinking to manage anyone else's comfort, without editing yourself before you speak. That's it. That's the one thing. And I know that sounds too simple, so let me show you exactly why it works and what it reveals about every person around you when you do it. When you start taking up more space, watch who gets uncomfortable. Not people who disagree with you, not people who see things differently, people who get genuinely unsettled by the fact that you're more present, more certain, more visible than you used to be. Real friends adjust. They don't need you to be a specific version of yourself to stay comfortable around you. They find the new version interesting. They ask questions. They lean in. They might tease you about the change, but it's warm, not destabilizing. They're still there. Fake friends get stiff. There's a tension that wasn't there before. They start making comments. You've changed. You seem different lately. You used to be more humble. And underneath every one of those comments is the same message. Go back to being smaller so I can feel comfortable again. Real friends want you to grow. Fake friends want you to stay manageable. The moment you stop being manageable, they show you which one they are. When you start saying no, watch who disappears. Most fake friendships are sustained by your availability, your willingness to always show up, always listen, always help, always be there, regardless of it's reciprocated. You've been the reliable one, the one who makes the effort, the one who keeps the connection alive. Start declining things that don't serve you, not all at once, not dramatically, just begin declining. clearly, warmly, without over-explaining when something doesn't work for you. Real friends take no gracefully. They might be disappointed, they might push back once, but they accept it and come back. The friendship absorbs the no because it was never contingent on your yes in the first place. Fake friends treat your no as a betrayal. They get cold. They stop reaching out. They manufacture distance and then act like it was your idea. Or they keep pushing, keep negotiating, keep looking for the version of the request you'll finally agree to, because they were never interested in what worked for you, only in what they needed from you. Your no is a filter. Every real person in your life passes through it just fine. When you share a real win, watch who celebrates versus who qualifies. Not the polite congratulations. Anyone can produce those. Watch what happens in the moments after. Watch whether they ask about it, build on it, want to hear more. Watch whether the energy rises or drops. Watch whether they find a way to redirect the conversation back to themselves within 30 seconds. Real friends want details. They're genuinely curious. They remember it later and bring it up. They treat your win like something that belongs to the conversation, not something to get past quickly. Fake friends congratulate you and immediately qualify it. That's great. How sustainable is it, though? Good for you. Just be careful not to get too ahead of yourself. Or they simply absorb the information and move on, like it didn't register, like your win was a mild inconvenience in the conversation they actually wanted to have. The difference is not subtle once you're looking for it. Real friends make you feel more certain about your wins after you share them. Fake friends make you feel slightly less certain. Every time. When you stop performing, watch who stops showing up. There's a version of you that you've been presenting, to everyone probably, but especially to the people you're not completely sure about. A version that's a little more agreeable, a little more entertaining, a little more uncomplicated than you actually are. The version that keeps the peace without requiring anything too difficult from anyone around you. Stop maintaining that version. Not all at once, just let it soften. Let yourself be quieter when you're tired. Let yourself disagree when you actually disagree. Let yourself not fill the silence just because it's there. Let yourself be the real version of you in the room and see who stays comfortable. Fake friendships are built around the performance, not you, the performance of you. And when the performance ends, the fake friend has nothing to be a friend to. They drift. They find reasons to be elsewhere. They don't exactly leave, they just stop making any effort to stay. Real friends don't need the performance. They were never there for it in the first place. When you get quieter or more complicated or more genuinely yourself, they get closer, not further. When you start protecting your time, watch who respects it and who resents it. You've been accessible, available, responsive. You answer quickly, show up when asked, give your time without making anyone work for it. Some of that is genuine generosity, but some of it, honestly, is a test you've been running without admitting it, hoping that being available makes you valuable, hoping that being generous with your time makes people treat you better. It doesn't work that way with fake friends. With fake friends, your availability just becomes their expectation. And the moment you start being less available, the moment you don't answer immediately or can't make something work or start prioritizing differently, they treat it as an offense. Real people understand that your time has value because they understand their own time has value. They don't need you to always be on. They're not threatened by your priorities because they have their own. Fake friends are threatened by any evidence that you exist independently of their needs. Your priorities feel like rejection to them. Your boundaries feel like abandonment. Your time having value feels like a statement about how little you value them. It isn't, but the fact that they interpret it that way tells you everything. Here's what connects all 5 of these. Every single one of them requires the same thing from you, becoming more real, more present, more fully yourself without managing anyone else's response to that. That's the one thing. Not a test you set, not a trap you lay, not a strategy you execute. Just the ongoing daily practice of being genuinely yourself, taking up real space, saying real no's, sharing real wins, dropping the performance, and protecting what's actually yours, and watching the world around you sort itself. Fake friends cannot survive contact with the real you. Not because you become difficult or cold or demanding, but because the real you has standards, has limits, has preferences, has a self that doesn't disappear to accommodate everyone else's comfort. And fake friendships were built on the absence of that self. They were built in the space where you weren't fully showing up. The moment you fill that space, they have nowhere left to stand. So, here's where you are now. You stop performing a manageable version of yourself and watch who gets uncomfortable. You say no cleanly and watch who accepts it and who treats it like a betrayal. You share a real win and watch who celebrates versus who qualifies and moves on. You let yourself be real in the room and watch who gets closer and who drifts. You protect your time and watch who respects it and who resents it. None of this requires suspicion. None of it requires you to watch anyone carefully. None of it requires you to do anything except become more of who you already are. The revealing happens automatically. You don't have to force it. You don't have to engineer it. You just have to stop hiding, and the people who were only comfortable with the hidden version will show you exactly who they are. And when they do, don't be angry. Don't be surprised. Just be grateful that you know. Because the real ones will still be there. They were always going to be there. You just couldn't see them clearly until you finally stopped standing in your own way. Stop shrinking to keep fake people comfortable. The moment you stop, they show you everything. And everything is exactly what you needed to see.